it's VJ.
It's Jane.
And this is
A Sip
and a Shot. Woo, 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 woo. We have a special guest.
Yes.
Miss Keyonia.
Yes.
Say hey, girl.
Hi, y'all.
We'll give the history of our friendship after we do these drinks.
Yep.
So we have done, for our shot, this is called the liquid marijuana.
Yes.
Who wants to list off all of the ingredients? We told Keyonia today, we were like, you have taken the record of the most ingredients used in a drink.
It is coconut rum. She's allergic to coconut, so she has vanilla vodka in hers. Spiced rum, blue carousel, melon liqueur, lemon juice, pineapple juice, simple syrup.
That's it?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think it was like 7 ingredients.
Yeah.
What made it green?
Melon liqueur.
Melon liqueur.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the melon liqueur and the blue carousel.
Blue Caraca. The curse.
Yes.
Okay.
Or that.
Sure.
That one.
Whatever you say.
Okay.
So we're gonna do our cheers. We've never had this before, so this is exciting.
Yep.
And this was Key's idea.
Yeah.
Cheers to the good.
Cheers to the bad.
Cheers to all the things we wish we had.
Clink, clink, clink. Don't forget to tap it.
Tap it.
That's nice.
Delicious.
That was good.
Mm-hmm. Not super
good.
sweet. Has a little
Yeah.
sour to it.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Jane might actually like this one because she doesn't like the sweet shots I get. I
You
do.
gonna be too
No.
sweet.
Yeah.
She's like
"Eh."
sugary.
good.
But
I
that's
love
good.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of pass me a straw.
So for our sip, we have the Keyonia.
Yes.
This is like a spiced pineapple mojito vibe. Jane, did you have to fill mine like all the way to the top?
So,
We all three.
first of all,
Spicy.
your glass is different. And I said, you want me to use that glass? And you said yes. And I was like, okay.
It just feels like a lot.
I'm not spatially aware enough to know what I did. And then I also making ours, I didn't measure with the jigger.
Yeah.
And so I was just pouring, and then I was like, well, maybe it looks like you have a lot in yours because of the shape of the glass. And I was like, yeah, this is fine, until I put ice in it. And then I was like, maybe this is not fine. And here we are.
Like 12 fluid ounces. Like a 12 to 16 fluid ounces.
Yeah.
Well, you have about 45 minutes to drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
We should be
got
fine.
this.
Oh, we'll be good.
Yeah, we'll be
We
good.
will sip it.
We'll sip
Yes.
it.
We
Sip
will
it.
sip it.
So we just sit, then talk.
Because there's no more.
There's no more. Okay. Well, let me taste
I
it.
was like, let me tell you.
Because this one got the floater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, don't drink yet.
Oh, don't drink it. Okay.
So this is pineapple, lime juice, simple syrup, mint, muddled, with 2 shots of spiced rum, pineapple juice, and Sprite, and then I put a little rum floater on top.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the floaters too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Make it all the same. Cheers! Cheers! Ooh.
Okay, I just do the back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Great.
Ooh.
It's amazing.
Oh my god.
Tastes delicious.
Oh, that is good.
Nice.
The only thing with the straw is you get so much of the
Mm-hmm.
of the pineapple and stuff.
You gotta
That's
get it to
good.
the top. God. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There you go, girl.
It's just enough. It's not overpowered. It's just
Mhm.
enough mint, just enough
I
pineapple.
love the pineapple.
It might sneak up on you.
More than likely it will.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We gonna
Yeah.
see.
It's
But
not
it's good.
like it's not like a light drink.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and it's something that you can drink and you wouldn't know that you're drinking like alcohol. You can't really taste it.
I barely taste it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me introduce Miss Keyonia. How I met her. Now I have to be honest.
Mhm.
I have to be honest. So, this is my line sisters. That's how we met. And I remember she was friends with a girl I knew growing up, and I always wanted to be Keyonia's friend. Like, I think I tell her that all the time, because she would be like chilling, like sitting. She was just so cool, but she would never speak to me. She would,
Oh.
like, I would like go say hi to our mutual friend, and then she would just be sitting there. She would have a smile on, but she was like, never. I just want to be like, hey now. She would just be like chill. But that's her. She's very chill.
Doing her thing.
So when we became sorors, we did our first like AKA week, and she was in charge of this event. And she lived in Greenbow. Come to find out, she lived like 5 minutes away. As soon as I knew she was in charge of the event, I was like, oh, I'll help. And I forced myself on her, and it was the best decision of her life.
Yes, I will agree with that part. That was the best. That was the best.
You knew
We got so
early on, you're gonna be friends.
Like, yeah.
I tell her that all the time. Like, I really wanted to be your friend, but she would not give me the time of day.
I really don't.
I know you don't remember it because I was invisible to her. But we're stuck at the hip now. So
Please don't call me her line sister.
she does not. She's my sister.
Please.
She is.
Line is done. It's back in blood. Like we're finished on that. This is a good.
She is one of my closest.
That this is the last time that
This
you
is
will
the
ever
last
call
time.
me back.
And I never refer to her as that because she's like, really, really, like. And we know it's a difference, but that's not our topic for today. Our topic, and then of course, she partied with us, and Jane lived there, and we all got cool and close.
I was an honorary roommate.
She was an aunt. She lived with us for a little bit. She had keys to the house.
3A adjacent.
3A adjacent.
I stayed on the steps.
I never.
But I didn't have the lease, but like I was cool on the steps. Like I was there.
She was in my bed.
She was like, not the steps.
I remember when I had broke up with my ex, and the girl had came to Tulsa. Keyonia was in the bed asleep while I was cussing. Well, I don't know if she was asleep because I was cussing him out.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you okay?" Like, "No, I'm not okay." She's like, "All right." Then he called because he was like, "I'm gonna let you calm down. I'll call you back."
Let me calm down.
They had many.
Pick the right one. Pick the right
But anyway, we are discussing millennial motherhood.
Yeah.
Because she was one of our first friends who had a baby.
Yeah. I think he was
Out of the group, yeah.
Damn.
Where are you from? Yeah, because
she
Troy
was
is 3.
first.
She has a
Troy
beautiful
is 3.
baby girl.
Yes.
Full of energy.
Full of
life.
All her.
Yes.
So tell us about your journey in becoming a mom.
Okay. So I
Whatever
moved,
you're comfortable with.
Yeah, so I moved to Atlanta. Was it 4 years ago now? Yeah. And came down to Atlanta, and it's crazy how I told you a story about when I found out I was pregnant, right?
After the
So came down to Atlanta, and within a month of me moving down there, decided to go out and have a good time. Went and got in a really bad car accident, the hit and run, drunk driver, and so I had to go to the hospital. Didn't have a job at the time, like was about to get started, so I didn't have insurance. And so I was there for a month, and I called, and they was like, well, we can give you Medicaid if you are pregnant. And I said, ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell I'm pregnant. I just came down here.
Nice try.
Nice try. 2 weeks later, I'm noticing I'm late. I'm like, well, I've been on Percocet, like drugged up, like I'm good. Right, first day, second day, third day, I was like, you know what, something ain't right. Something ain't right here. So I went ahead and took a test, and I found out that I was pregnant. And so, yeah, that was kind of the start of it for baby girl, for me and her.
I remember you called me right after the accident. And I was like, hey, oh my God. And then we were all up here because she had just moved.
Yeah.
And I was like, we can't get down there. And I'm like, these are the perks of you moving.
Yeah, this is what your ass gets.
Like,
You wouldn't have gotten the car if you had stayed in Maryland. How about that? Be blessed. Get Wilson. Thoughts and prayers.
And let me... I sent you a nice orchid.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Like, we sent her off. We sent her down there great. Like, we got a blanket. Like, we did you right.
Very right.
But she, so like, I can't get down to you now. Like, work was busy. And she was like, I'm okay. Then, like, 2 or 3 weeks later, she was like, so. She's like, I'm pregnant. And also, like, the record show, she didn't, like, go to Atlanta, randomly have sex with some man.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, let's put that out there. I was just like fucking and was like, woo! Welcome to Atlanta. No, moved there with my child's father. And so that's what he came there for. So he gave me a little welcome to Atlanta gift.
Yeah.
I guess my ass wasn't going nowhere after that.
Nowhere.
I think, you were the first, I think. one of the first people that I called.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, she moved down there with her child's father, and they have created a nice little family.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. How is it being a mom in this like social media world? Because how were you when Joy was first born? Did you decide not to put her on social media? I think you waited a couple weeks.
So we waited. So even in terms of like even just announcing my pregnancy, I think one of the things that I regret is just looking on social media and seeing all the like pregnancy announcements and gender reveals. I had a space where that was something that I wanted to do, but previously I had 2 miscarriages. Yeah. So when I found out that I was pregnant with Troy, I was just like, let me just stop, because I'm not sure if this is something for me even to be excited about.
Right.
And so I kept it really quiet outside of telling like my close like friends, but I didn't even tell my family. Yeah. Until I was like 6 months. Well, not 6, maybe 4.
I was gonna say it wasn't 6.
Yeah, it wasn't 6. It was
past
before
the first
we found
trimester,
out. Yeah, but past the first trimester, because I was terrified of that.
Yeah.
So social media, I think it just even heightened, I think, my awareness of it, because that's all I saw. I don't know if Big Brother heard that I was pregnant and they tried to get me pregnant to make sure that like I'm now posting shit on Instagram, but like it got crazy. So me and her father decided that we did not want to post her. Okay. We wanted to wait. Yeah. And actually, the day that she was born, Granddaddy posted a picture on his profile. And okay. And I said, nigga, what? Like she just came out the womb, like looking like an alien, light bright, like eyes swollen and shit, looking like that's not my baby. Like don't put that fucking baby on there. That's not what she gonna look like. So I think now, because, you know, as she is getting older, I feel that I'm in a safe space with my friends that I can post and share. I mean, I feel comfortable with that. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, at first I just was like, you know what, let's just wait until like, you know, her face gets set. Because like babies is ugly at the first, like
when they first
I'm have crazy to agree. As hell. Yeah. Troy was beautiful.
Yeah, like me, yeah. But like,
yes. Because I would get, like, we would get the special.
Yeah, because y'all got the stuff. Y'all was in.
I can tell you now, I would send them to the group.
Yeah. I knew it was. Yeah. It was like sending to you. Like she gonna send it to whoever needs to send it, but she ain't gonna post it. Like I knew. Like I trust it. I trust it.
Circles.
Yeah, like in the circle thing. Like they know. The crew knows.
Her little, that's what it is. Her little bonnet picture.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh.
And like now, like, you know, I know parents will be like, you know, my baby's so pretty, she's so special, but like my daughter actually is. So like y'all gotta see, like actually is.
You have to
actual
look at,
that like y'all gotta see like how like amazing this is.
She is.
And she's a great songwriter.
Amazing songwriter. She's an artist. So we'll be doing some music lessons. Super smart. She's super funny.
She has Keyona's personality to a T, like her mannerisms. You deserve her.
Terrified.
Because if y'all knew, maybe we'll get into some like fun stories. But if y'all knew
back in the day,
like when the first one that I'm thinking of is not safe to talk about.
Nope.
So
it's not.
It involves being picked up in my car.
I knew that was
in your car.
Gonna be.
And you say all I want is chicken nuggets and French fries.
Oh, what day was that? Because I always want chicken nuggets.
It was
somebody's
birthday.
Yeah, it was Ty's birthday.
Yeah.
Ty's birthday.
And y'all's
birthday. Here. Did I fight somebody?
No, but everyone thought that you were the one who was upset, and it was me and Kels.
What? Now you gotta say what?
No, I'm definitely not saying.
We have to wait. You have to tell me after.
I'll tell you after.
What was the city? And I know as soon as I'm like, fuck, Baltimore.
Oh
no. Because that's what we're not going to do. Because that was never my fault. You know what? I also have some things to clarify.
Yes.
The specific episode about Halloween. Veronica didn't get kidnapped because look at us now. Would you be with your kidnapper?
Keyonia, are you serious?
You were not kidnapped.
What was I? Taken against my will?
You could have always went back. By the time we got there, you were filling in. You had a great time that
night. I wasn't even drinking.
You had a great time that night.
Did I?
Yep.
Did I have a great time?
And you got so many compliments on your costume.
She called me radio. She kept calling me radio.
But them Catholics was complimenting.
I didn't want none of them Catholics. I didn't want none of them.
They was old as shit.
Oh, as I don't know what.
We should go back.
I'm never going to agree party with you. Let me be very clear, lying sister. I am never going to agree party with you.
But if you wouldn't have got kidnapped, where would we be now?
I think we would have been fine because you still stay with me. No,
maybe not as close.
Maybe that's the issue.
But it's a good issue.
Anyway, Troy's like so friendly.
Yes.
Like she posts videos of her who like interacting with kids and making sure kids feel involved and you're a good mommy.
Amazing.
Social butterfly.
Yeah, she's amazing. But I had a panic attack when I found out that I was having a girl.
So for your gender reveal, you did come back up.
So I knew that I was having a girl before.
You knew before we all found out. So the surprise was for us.
The surprise was for y'all because my anxiety, I couldn't wait to figure out like what that was going to be. Like me and Troy's daddy needed to figure out what we was having ASAP. But we thought that it was going to be a little boy because I didn't have like, you know, like, and of course you hear like all the stereotypical shit like, oh, well, you know, you'll have a girl, so like you'll have heartburn crazy because I have a lot of hair, or you'll have a boy, your skin's going to be glowing. Like my first trimester, thankfully, I threw up maybe once or twice, but it wasn't like a big thing. So I'm calling my baby little boy. Like I'm like, oh, we gonna have us a little man running around the house. This is gonna be straight. We got into the doctors, and her dad said, I know it's gonna be a girl. And I was like, well, how can you tell? Like, did you know something that I don't? And he was like, it's just, I know it's going to be a little girl.
You just got a feeling.
I just got a feeling. So I was like, nah, it's going to be a boy. So the nurse comes in and puts the stuff in my belly, and like we're looking, and now these like 3D images, like you can see everything. So she showed me two little things. Like, and she's like, do you know what that is? I said, oh my God, it's the balls. Like I'm having a little boy. And she said, actually, those are the fallopian tubes. I said, little boys don't have fallopian tubes. No. So what do I have?
She's like, what is it?
Because it's not a girl.
Definitely.
It was like, it's I said, are you I said, just flip her around. Just flip, like, can you flip her? Like, those are testicles. They're just, you know, the little boys' balls don't drop until they get fallopian tubes. They had to, like, brown bag me. I had a panic attack.
Really?
A panic attack.
What was your fear about having a girl?
Me.
You was going to have a mini you.
But, like, not a mini me, and because Troy is me, but she is so much more, like,
she has her own personality.
She has her own personality. I was terrified because, of course, you always hear, like, raising a girl is this, that, and the third, and, like, you know, oh, well, she's going to be so pretty, and, you know, I'm trying to make sure that her father don't go to jail for doing no crazy stuff, and it's like, all of that, it was just compounded. I still am terrified because if I had a little boy, I could just be the parent. Of course, that would, like, raise and teach them things, but, like, I wouldn't have to be the example.
Yeah, you don't have to be the mold.
I don't have to be the mold for it.
Right. Yeah.
With my daughter, I make her break it.
Yeah.
Like, and when she grows up in 20 years, they're going to be like, what did your mother do?
Yeah.
Like, of course, and the father as well. What did you see?
Yeah.
So that was what terrified me because when I was pregnant, I didn't think that I was at a point now where I would be, you know, somebody that somebody could look up to and something I could raise and mold into like a good kid. Yeah. I didn't think that I had that in me. I now realize that it's day to day. Like you're gonna be you're amazing. Yeah. Regardless. But I was terrified because I did not want that responsibility for my first child. Okay. So it scared the mess out of me.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It scared the mess out of me.
I feel like part of me feels like you might have had the same feeling if it was a boy. Because I think that feeling of raising a kid into like the human that they're supposed to be, that's a lot. You know, if your child end up crazy, it's like, well, what the hell did I do?
What did you do?
Even if it's not your fault, it's still I could have did this, I could have done that. Yeah,
that's different.
So I mean, and it still scares me a little bit, especially now that she's getting older and she can hear things.
She talks so clear now.
Yeah, like, you know, it's just kind of like, she called me. She was like, "Where you at, ma'am?" Like, so that still, because it's a daily, it's a constant thing. Like, I have to be a good example. Like, if I'm upset, even when I'm driving, I can't have road rage because now Troy is in the back talking about like, "Don't you hurt my mommy?" Like, and then she's rolling down the windows like, "Hello."
Yeah.
That's how my sister was.
She's my child. Yeah. So like, I think I'm cool, but I didn't think that I could like copy and paste. Like I'll be like, y'all really was messing with me for 12 years.
Yeah.
And I'm acting like Troy. Y'all really must love me.
But then you have to look at the other side of Troy too, because that's the side we get most of the time. Is the like the there for anything. If you need her, like Key is the type that will literally drop, and I have to be like, hey, I don't need you to come up out of Google because I don't need you to buy a flight yet. She's like, okay, because I'm getting ready to hit confirm. So it's like, I don't need it yet. I just need to talk to you. Yeah. But so that's how you got to year 12. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's how you got to year 12. Like when my grandmother passed away, they were there immediately. Yeah. She was getting ready to leave her birthday dinner.
I did leave
to come. No, I made you stay.
They forced me to stay.
Yeah.
I can't
like, no, I need to talk to you.
Yeah,
so that's why. That's how you make it. That's how you'll make it with Troy.
Yeah. And so that's just like, I just have to learn that, like, you know, in being a parent, I have to learn kind of the, not negative, but just kind of the like, oh, you got to work on that. Like, I see it in my daughter, like, Troy can be extremely impatient. I wonder where she got that from. But, like, I didn't think that was an issue, because when it was just me and her father, like, I could be impatient. I could do what I want because I don't have nobody to look after.
Yeah.
But with her, like, I have to be that example. And I don't think that I was not expecting that. When I was talking to, like, other moms and, like, their experiences, I only heard, well, get ready to not sleep, and you're changing diapers, and you gotta breastfeed, and, like, all this, that, and the third. But nobody talks about, like, how do you handle describing to a child that actions have consequences? How do you describe to a child? How do you model to a child how it is to be kind in this world? Like, what is it when you're establishing boundaries with people? Like, because I have to learn now that, like, Troy is gonna feel the value for anything. She's not a, like, happy-go-lucky, like, if she don't know you, if she don't like you, it's not a thing where, like, you know, so I'm like, well, you know, give her a hug. No. Okay, I have to respect that. Yeah. Like, as a boundary, because when I was a kid, I was just like, you know, I ain't trying to hug all y'all. Like, I don't know like that. Yeah, like, I'm not feeling that. So, having to understand who my child is outside of just being my child.
So, I've just touching on that subject, is being on TikTok a lot. We won't go to there with TikTok and you yet.
Because do they know?
No. So, being on TikTok a lot, there's a lot of, like, moms of TikToks, dads of TikToks, like, that kind of thing. And a lot of mothers are parenting in a way where it's like, if my child does not want to hug you, I'm not forcing my child to hug you. Like, we ask questions, and I think that's a big difference between, I feel like we had baby boomer parents. No. Baby boomer? Yeah, baby boomer parents. But, like, you hug everybody, you say hello to everyone. And millennial parents are more so like, no, because I hate to say it, but we've seen too much, like, molestation and you know, abuse and stuff and things like that. And as a child, you probably felt it, but your mom said you had to hug the person. Yeah,
and stuff that kids might not know how to express. But they do know whether or not they feel comfortable around somebody, or whether they like somebody. So they could be, you know, if they're standoffish, they might be standoffish for a reason.
And I have to be in tune with like understanding like what that is. And now that she's getting into the toddler age, I'm noticing like little ticks of when she's anxious or when she gets in trouble, she'll pull her fingers. And so I'll know that if we're in a setting that she's pulling her fingers, she don't feel comfortable. So like I have to like survey that. And I don't know if I don't remember my mom doing that for me, or if it was because she always did it. I just didn't think that was something that she had to think about. Yeah. But I think with me and like just dealing with like anxiety, and it's something that I just say I'm really I check in. And so thankfully she's able to communicate if she do, if she don't, like.
And that's what really helped me. I remember I was doing it with like my nephews and stuff. That's why, like, because Troy lives in Atlanta, so she doesn't know, like, she'll know me on the phone, but in person she's not gonna like run up and give me a hug. And so I'm like, whenever you're ready. And then so we'll just be chilling and talking, and then she'll come up and we'll interact that way. And I'm like, that works for me, because I just I feel like, especially, I want a daughter one day. If I ever have children, I do want a daughter. I just want my daughter to feel very comfortable with her body. And, you know, and making sure, and I think now it's a lot of like, your body is your body. Your body is no one else's. But I don't know if we think about that with little boys as much as we think about that with little girls.
And I question that because I'm not because I'm not a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
how would I understand that experience? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
with my daughter, I can see, like, there are certain things that, like, we don't do. Like, I'm touching her and I'm teaching her about, like, you know, your pocketbook and, like, don't touch here, don't touch there. Like, so now we're starting to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And so I just want her to feel comfortable and then to be in control of, like, her space, her boundaries, and what she wants to do. Which is difficult because I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to teach her something that I don't even know how to establish yet. So how do I teach? These are the questions and why. It's just it gets overwhelming at times to try to figure out what is the correct thing to do.
And I feel like things probably change a lot. Like every day is something
Every
new.
day is something
Yeah.
different.
So it's like you're constantly playing catch up, but also trying to learn at the same time to teach somebody something.
Honestly, the first year was probably the easiest.
Really?
Like, because, I mean, of course, you know, like, after I had her, well, I told you, I don't know, Jamie knows the story, but after I had Troy, we got home from the hospital, I stayed up for 3 days.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
watching
Her sleep. So when we had the post appointment, and the doctor was like, you know, how are you feeling? And, like, I was just like, I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah.
Like, I am so tired. And then Kelly and Veronica came down, which was a month. And
She was about 4 or 5 weeks.
About 4 or 5 weeks, yeah, baby. And I didn't know at the time that she was not lactose, or, like, she didn't mess with that. I was breastfeeding, and we got some bomb ass, like, ice cream
milkshake.
Like, it was like cream.
No, yeah, it was ice cream.
But
from
it was
that
like
spot.
thick, yeah.
It was,
And I fed her, and, like, at 11 o'clock that morning, 11 o'clock that evening,
night,
Troy cried and did not stop until 6.
Yeah. And we were up with it, like, we were
trying to figure it
Googling
out.
things like how to make the baby stop crying. And they were like, run a vacuum. We had a vacuum cleaner running on YouTube. He was like moving her legs to try to get her to, because it was gassy.
Yeah.
Then you got emotional.
Yeah, I got emotional.
And we were like, thank God, not thank God we were there, but we were like,
I was there.
But
we
you
got
didn't have
her,
to do it by
walk
yourself.
away, get yourself together. And then so we stayed up.
And
we stayed up, and then you got to take, you know, then you just got to, but she was so worried because we didn't know what was wrong. And then later on we found out she's lactose intolerant because she just didn't, she wasn't a crier like that.
Yeah.
So, and then I think the other part of us coming down there, and I'm going to be honest, this is what really solidified that I wasn't ready for babies. We let her and her child's father sleep. Like, we got her. Don't worry about it. I think she took like her blankets, her pillows at 9 p.m. Key never goes to sleep before 10 o'clock. By like 8:30, 9 p.m. she had all the bottles made. We were
nothing but a word.
So we were just in the room, just taking turns. I don't think you came in, and you got to sleep till about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because I woke up and I heard a baby crying. I said, "Who baby is that?" I said, "Who baby is in this
But
house?"
she didn't cry. And so I took, like, me and Kels, we just switched off. But you're scared to go to sleep because it's like, I don't want her to be uncomfortable. I want to make sure she's breathing. In 2 hours, I'm going to feed her, change her, then we're going to go back to sleep. But I was so glad we were down there for you, just so you got some time to, like, breathe, go to sleep, spend some time with your man, you know.
I just assumed that, like, having her in Atlanta would be easy. I don't know. I did not appreciate having that community. And it was terrifying to go down to a new city where you don't know anybody, and now you're pregnant. So now I have to find healthcare providers, and I have to deal with insurance, and I have to deal with my family and some of my friends feeling type of way because I'm not home. I think I came back 9 times.
You came back a lot. And I remember you and I having that conversation because I don't want to say you second guessed moving.
I did. Yeah.
But you were worried that our relationships were going to change. And I was like, Key, you're not getting rid of us. Like, you're going to a different state, but we're still here. We didn't get a chance to, like, fully enjoy Atlanta because baby.
Baby.
So,
Like that.
But
yeah, I think that was also difficult because it wasn't until you guys came that I realized that, like, I do need help. Because it was a lot. And having that day in, day out, and not having that support system. Like, I don't want to call it baby blues postpartum, but I think I did not know how to handle that new responsibility I don't think that I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And I think I felt down on myself because I didn't think that I was doing a good enough job. And I don't know if you want to call that postpartum depression because I'm anxious or I'm worried, but there are so many things.
I think it's all kind of, it could be like wrapped into one.
It's like nobody talks about, okay, so she got to go to the doctors. Are you getting her life insurance? Like, what are we doing about people watching her? Dad, do you want her to go over there? Do you feel comfortable with that? Like, now I'm trying to understand, like, you're not just my boyfriend no more, you're my child's father.
And
so what are your expectations?
Matters.
And your opinion matters.
And you have your own boundaries.
And you have your own boundaries. We have our own trauma. Like, what are things that you don't feel comfortable with? And how are we going to come to that? Like, we wasn't thinking about that. How are we going to raise her to where we're on the same page?
Yeah.
Right.
And thankfully, you all had a long-standing relationship where you knew you had a good idea, but I think it took your relationship to another level because you have to verbalize that.
Right.
You have to. And again, me being a person that didn't have boundaries or wasn't the best at communicating, I had to force myself to do that because it's one thing I don't want for Troy to be.
Yeah.
And I love that Troy can speak up for herself. Like, she knows what she wants. I prayed for that for her because I don't have that.
Right.
And really, she's teaching me how to sit. Because what you gonna say? What are you gonna say if I don't want to do something? I don't feel comfortable with something.
Right.
Like, what are you gonna say?
And
so
you have
she
to
taught
be
me that.
her voice.
I have
too.
to be her voice.
Yeah.
So, and that's like even bigger than speaking for yourself. It's like
I gotta make sure that she feels
good.
protected. We was at the park, girl. We was at the park, and Troy's playing with people. So there was another little girl that was at the park, and Troy is bossy. So like, look, we're going here, then we're going there. Like, and so the little girl was about the same age, but didn't speak as clearly. And so Troy said something to the effect of like, "No, I want to go here" or something. The mom was right there. And so the mom was like, "No, sweetie, I think what she said," talking to her daughter in front of Troy. Troy said, "No, I said this."
Okay.
The mother cut her eyes. So I'm like, well, I'm going to jail today.
I guess we got to start
We got to start now because I'm going to have to whoop your ass in front of you and your 3-year-old daughter. Don't you cut your eyes and I'm like,
yeah.
What do you think this is? But I also have to learn patience because I don't want Troy popping off.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to... It's like retraining
yourself.
Myself.
Yeah.
And it's retraining yourself, but also creating your best self. Just so she has. And I don't know if we think of our mothers until, like, I wonder if until you had Troy, did you think of the different things like your mom might have had to?
Yes.
Like, do you feel like you had more of an appreciation? Because you and your mom already have a close relationship.
Yeah.
But did that relationship change?
I think once I had her, I realized, outside of just like the love for someone else, and you would do anything like for them, and that's what I appreciate because I see that from my mom. Like, I saw it, and I don't think that I was just like, oh, like, you have to, but you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. Like, you can take what you want, and like for my mom to love me the way she did, to support me, to be there for me, I pray that I can be that for Troy.
I think you.
Like, I pray that I can be that for her.
Yeah.
So seeing that, I had a great example. I had an amazing example to look up to.
I know at one point my fear, like, I have a lot of fears about having children, and the biggest one is me and my mom always had a great relationship, and I would sometimes say, I don't know if I would want a child because I would fear that I wouldn't have the type of relationship I would have with my mom. Like, the same type of relationship me and my mom have with my child. And I'm like, if I don't have that, like, is it worth it? Like, it's that fear.
Do I want to go back and forth arguing with my daughter? It's just, do I want to go?
See, me and my mom didn't have that relationship.
I never had that.
Yeah, my mom's no was no, and her no was always justified, and I trusted it. That got me in some trouble later on, but like, at the time it was a thing to do.
Well, it was like, I think me and my mom hit a rough patch in college, and it's like it's always hindsight is 20/20, especially when it comes to your mom, because it's like, when I'm 20, I think I know everything. Or even, like, especially when it comes to boys, like, there's been so many times where it'll be like, oh, I really like him. We have a great relationship where I could be like, this is the person I like, going on this date, whatever have you. And then she would meet the person and be like, normal, mom, hi, like, okay, I'm gonna keep it friendly. And then after the person's gone, she's like, yeah, no, it wasn't right for you. I knew that since you walked in the door. And I'm like, at what point did you want to say that to me? But also knowing that she probably knows how I handle things. So it's like maybe the best option is not for you to tell me something. Or maybe the best, like the way that she chooses to communicate is like, yeah, I want to help you. I want to do this for you, but I know that you have to do it yourself.
Your own way.
And that's what she said. She was like, you were going to figure it out. Like, I wasn't going to let you go crazy, but you figure it out.
I would have let you marry him.
Yeah.
But,
Like, right?
She was like, you step in. But
now, do you find yourself doing that with Troy? Like,
In terms of...
Like, allowing her, and she's 3, so it's not too many, like, all of her decisions are your decisions. But, like,
yes.
she kind of, like, finds her way.
She be tiptoeing around there, like, because... And it's crazy because her relationship with me and her relationship with her father is night and day. It's a different Troy.
Oh, yeah. It's
I don't know why I get this one. Like, I love her, but, like, it's different. Yeah, so, like, in terms of, like, you know, now we're talking about, like, listening and follow directions. Like, if Troy does not want to do something, she's not going to do it. It sounds crazy. It sounds like I can't control my child, but, like, she is her own person. So, it was something like eating food and she don't want to eat it. Okay, so what we going to do? We just going to stare at each other because that's what we going to do. Or we're arguing. The apartment that we was at last time, the neighbors came and thought that I was getting in a domestic dispute with my 6-month-old. Because I'm screaming, like, at the top of my lungs. Like, why won't you listen to me?
Like, what is it?
What did I do? Like, why won't you listen to me? So, having those conversations, like, I see that she's trying to, like, tiptoe. But it's like, you know what you're doing. You're choosing to not do that. You're smart. So, like, you know what you're doing. But now I have to understand that, like, okay, so we just got to switch them here because this is not going to happen. But I find myself that I am anxious because I don't want to yell at her too much or scream at her too much. I don't give Troy whoopings.
You don't. I love that.
Yeah.
I get in a lot of conversations, and we don't have to get too deep because I don't want to talk about how you discipline your child, but I get into a lot of conversations with people about discipline and how if I ever have children, I do not want to use, what's it called, corporal punishment.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it works. And I know some people have differing opinions where it's like, you know, well, taught me right from wrong. I'm like, well, when you perform whatever action or you behaved whatever way you acted, you knew it was wrong, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So then what, like,
And
it's
then
not a
at a
deterrent to
At the
me.
point, you're not fearing the punishment anymore.
When I'm fearing the physical, like, I got whooped. But, like, it kept me in line because I just didn't get whooped again.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, I knew, like, I could do it, or I would just have to be smart about doing it.
Yeah.
So, me and Troy's father both decided that we would try to not. Like, we would try to speak, to converse, to make sure that she understood what she was doing, right or wrong. You know, we listen to NPR, the timeout rules, so we're trying to follow by the books. But when your daughter is having a nuclear temper tantrum in Target and she's swinging, swiping stuff, like, you can't just yank her up. Like, how? But again, I realized that parenting is more about me than it is about her. Like, how am I going to react to things because she's going to see this? Right. Like, even like little phrases, like, I'll talk to her like, girl, you want to fight? She at daycare asking little kids like, girl, you want to fight? Like, because I'll say that to her, like, so you want to fight? Instead of me, like, put my hands on you, like, oh, you got fighting words. She'd be like, yeah, girl, like, let's fight. Like, no. So I have to change that. So those things is like, I'm trying to not do that because I just go, what is the Mr. Rogers rule? What is it, like, how did you feel when you were a kid in that situation? So, like, I have to tell myself, like, she's only 3. I know she's talking like she's grown, but she is only 3. She's only been here 3 years. Like,
she's still, like, learning.
She's still learning how to be a human.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Like, aren't we all? Like, just because I'm sleep deprived or because I don't feel like I've had any time for myself, or that is not her fault. Right. And I have to learn to keep my own emotions in check so that she can do it. So even now she's able to communicate. Like, Mommy, I didn't like when you screamed at me and made me sad. Okay. I apologize. Like, ooh.
That's
so
good.
That's
I'm sorry. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but, like, it makes Mommy sad when you don't listen to me.
That's good communication.
Yeah.
But I have to, like,
so what do you want me to do when you make me
like,
sad?
What do we need to do now?
Yeah.
So,
and treating them like a little person, like not a baby, but a person.
Yeah, they have, like, their own. It's like every kid is different, but they also have, like, every kid has their own thought process and the way they process things and how they feel about situations. So it's kind of like, I don't know how y'all do it.
It's exhausting.
I was like, even the few moments where I'm like watching somebody's kid, or like we were talking about even Ty when she first had the baby and she was like, I'm exhausted. I was like, yeah, I'll stay awake, and while you sleep, man, 2 a.m. hit. I was like, oh my God, the baby.
Like, yeah, the baby is alive.
It's like it's here.
Looking at you like,
we're up.
Yeah.
wake.
Or watching for the pacifier in a movie, you're like, please move, please move. Like, we shake you a little bit, like we rock you back and forth.
So, we went to visit Ty when I think Riley had to be a couple weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she's still
and
fresh.
like her husband called and was like,
Y'all need to do
Y'all
this.
need to
Y'all
come
gotta
up
come
here.
up here. It's like something has to happen.
and she was just like, you know, like you
you
were
feel
saying,
like you can do it, like, this is yours.
Yeah.
Like, I had her, like, I chose to have her, I chose to keep her, this is mine. This is not anybody's responsibility. So there were multiple times where, like, I would just cry to myself and I was like, you know, well, you asked for this, Keyonia. Like, this is what you wanted. Like, you asked for this, so you're gonna have to deal with the sleep deprivation and not, asking for help. Like,
and every time I would be like, hey, Key, you can call me and tell me what's going on. So, and, like, I know I can't physically be there and I can't come get Troy while you take a nap or just hop in the shower. I remember the first night we were there, she took like an hour-long shower. Like, we were going to dinner. Well,
let me just get my shower, please.
like, I would put
like,
Troy
in the
in the
shower.
bassinet and I would hop in and out, like, so that she could see me. Because I couldn't do it.
yeah.
I couldn't do it. And so it's just crazy from here to now. Like, girl, Troy, go upstairs, watch the TV, like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just yell if you need me.
One of my favorite stories that you given me recently about Troy is, so Key bought a house. She bought a house. She's a homeowner. Go girl. And she was having Troy like start sleeping in her own room. And so she didn't put a gate up. And so she's like, BJ, I'm asleep in my bed and I feel a hand graze my ass and go up my back. And she was like, I just froze because I didn't know what was going on.
I thought I was getting sexually assaulted. It's pitch black. Like, y'all close your eyes. It is pitch black. You sleep.
Yeah.
You don't hear nothing. All of a sudden, you feel it. I was like, oh, somebody's taking me tonight. It wasn't even like I was like, should I scream?
I didn't know what to do. But
because it was seductive. Like, you touching me like you know me. Like, your daddy's not here. Who is this?
It was the funniest thing.
When I say terrified.
I cannot.
Terrified. She was like, I didn't know what to do. And then she like feels this little body get in the bed next to her. She was like, okay. I think you said the baby gate is up. She sent me a picture of the baby gate. She was like, no. You're like,
No
and
more,
she was
no
open
more
at like 2 a.m.
Always. In the middle of the night talking about I'm thirsty. So you can pee in my bed?
No, ma'am.
No. You don't got time for that. Not today. Today.
You're a great mommy. What advice would you give new moms, pregnant moms, toddler, like moms going through that toddler phase? I know you're still like in it, but
yeah, I think for new moms and like pregnant moms, I think that there's a lot of like fear in terms of like the health and especially for Black women. I think that thankfully, I had an emergency section, so it could have, but I think to just have grace with yourself will be like the most important. Like, you are growing a human inside of you. It is grace. If you big, and for people who do not have kids, please stop asking pregnant people like, are they big? Because it got to a point where they was like, you gained so much weight. I was like, your mother.
Like, please
oh,
leave me
your
alone.
nose is so big and your breath stinks. One of ours is going to go back after we have a child, and one of it's going to stay.
Like, leave
so
it.
what's going on? Like, I'm growing life. Please don't ask me.
Like, my body's my body's doing a miracle right now.
Like, and your body's out of your control.
Give me grace and give, like, just please give me grace.
Yeah.
For new moms, and I don't know if it's like the most useful, but I think staying off of social media is a godsend. I think that, like, because people are like, when's Shorty going to have like her own like YouTube or like her own TikTok? And it's like, never. I want to be a parent that like social media is not a construct in her life.
Okay.
I think with our generation, like we had the before, but you know, MySpace and stuff came on, so we still know how to separate it.
Yeah.
With a lot of these kids, I don't see that.
Yeah.
And I think those, and for me, I think just having those like perceptions of what like a cool mom or a good mom will be, or like what like a cute bait, like those things kind of wrapped it up. So it's like, no, I don't have to follow that.
Yeah.
Like, I can do what I want to do with my child.
So it takes away from you like comparing yourself.
It takes a lot away from, because that's all you see. And I mean, now you see that parents are disciplining their child on social media.
Yeah.
And it's like, when does it stop? When is it like, because even now when I like record Troy, I'll see her like look at the camera like, it's not a genuine interaction anymore. It is now something where I'm recording you to do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think not having her on social media or not being around it as much, I think helped me to kind of have to set my own rules on what it is to be a good parent for me and my child. I can't follow everybody's instructions because everybody does not have Troy as a daughter, and these kids don't have me as a mom.
Right.
And I think also what I see a lot of is people giving parenting advice.
A lot of parenting advice, because that's not my lane.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was the first out of the group, and you know, for my other, you know, family members or friends that I had pregnant, and you know, so how was your birthing story? Everybody's birthing story is different.
Yeah.
And I don't want to scare anybody with my situation, because I know people that was in and out in 30 minutes. I know people that were there for 4 or 5 days. Like, everything is different. So I think why hearing about other people's experiences is fine. I think I don't take the word advice.
Okay.
Because I can't, like, hearing your experience is cool. I may take some things that may or may not work for you, but the advice is what I don't need, because you just don't understand the perception of what it is to be Troy's mom.
Yeah.
So if you can, I know that it's hard, but I think to have confidence in yourself, like you are this person's parent for a reason, you know what's best, but ask for help if you need it.
Yeah. And what about for moms that are away from family, friends, you know, bringing a new life in a new state or a new area? Since you've been through that, is there anything that you would
I think
say
to make
them?
sure that communication is open, and to like, because I had to realize that, you know, we're down here, but like my mom doesn't have her grandbaby right next door. Like my sister doesn't have her niece to be easily accessible. So FaceTiming has been like a godsend.
Yeah.
I FaceTime them every day, to the point where like Troy has probably seen them maybe like 10 or so times, but not, and I mean, it's day one. Like that's not, and I think that people that do have loved ones that are away have to understand that as well. It is not just, in today's time, it's not just physical. I don't have to touch you to know that I love you, to know that you know me, to know that you care.
Yeah.
There are ways that you can keep that communication open. And please, like, flying down, I don't know why people think, like, my family thinks that, like, Georgia must be hell because y'all can't come back. Like, it's a flight. Y'all can come and visit. Because I think that's one thing that I won't do if I have another child is, like, I had her baby shower up here. I had her first birthday party up here. And that wasn't, people didn't come down. Like, people were like, oh, well, you know, I'll try to find a flight. I'll try to come down. Why can't y'all bring her up? I'm not UPS. I'm not going to deliver my child to you.
But then you also came up so much.
I came up so much. And I think maybe there was, like, an expectation that I would come and travel with a newborn child in the car seat.
Yeah.
On the plane.
Free.
For free. Like, you know, but that's not it no more.
Yeah.
So.
And for the record,
you weren't the one of the friends.
I came down, but then it was like stuff just started happening,
and then the pandemic hit.
And then the pandemic hit. So I'm coming down, and we have our room.
I did come down and see you guys one time.
Yes, that was so much fun.
Yeah. And you got to eat by yourself. Yeah.
You got to what?
Troy ate them. Like, Troy didn't even. She came right to Jamie. That's another thing. Like, Troy could also feel it. Like, if the energy is right, and then she came, she jumped right over to you.
She just said, and I was like, you gotta just eat. Like, you can eat without having to hold her.
Like, she was like, bye. Like, I'm with my homegirl. I was like, did y'all call before? Was y'all talking?
And she stayed with me the entire time.
So, I think that understanding that there are so many ways to communicate and to stay in touch, and that it's not like us. Like, if we didn't see nobody, then we weren't contacting. That's not it anymore. And so I appreciate finding ways to keep it connected, but also understanding, like, I can't ask for help. I can't do it all.
Yeah.
And it's not going to deter me, or it's not going to make me a bad person or a weaker person.
No.
If I ask for help, or if I say that I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to know. Yeah.
And then last note for our moms, please find something to do outside of being a parent. I think
Yeah.
it
Something
was
for
so
yourself.
hard for me. Like once I got pregnant, like I'm a mom. So what did I do before? Like I went to an event for work, and they said, well, describe yourself. Like, what are 3 things that you do? And all I could say was that I'm a mom, and I'm from Prince George's County. I had nothing else to say.
Okay.
And I was like, that wasn't who Keyonia, like
That's
Keyonia
not
was
me.
more than
Yeah.
that. But you become a mom, and it's like, well, that's it. All I'm doing is focusing on that. So now that she is older, I'm starting to find, like, I have to be me outside. I can't be that mom that once my daughter graduates, she leaves the house.
And you don't know what to
I don't know what to do.
Right.
Like, that can't be me.
And it's good for her to see you have a life
Doing
also,
something else.
so that
Yes.
a life outside of her, so that she knows, like, she has a lot, she gets to build a life as well.
She is her own person, and she
Yeah.
doesn't have to worry that, like, I'm her life, so that, like, I don't want that for her.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the first 3 years, I was like, well, I can't because I don't have nobody to watch. I'm making excuses because I just don't know what it is that I want to do.
Right.
Like, now she's at that age where I can find things. And again, like you said, she can see that her mom is more than just a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I want her to be.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, on that note, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
This is like our first conversation about motherhood, other than like
Brief converse.
fearful and I want to be a mom one day.
Yeah.
So this is
Random
great.
questions that get asked.
That I find.
We should do a shooter maybe with Troy. Answer like 3 questions.
We should.
We should.
Troy, you
We'll do
smart?
it like over FaceTime.
Yeah.
Or when I
So
come
she
to
is.
Atlanta.
Love it. Are you
smart?
Yes. Try to do that with her. I was like, Troy, you smart? I said, what's 1 + 1? Guess what she said?
2.
Booty, butt cheeks, and
Yeah.
plan out.
That's true.
So on that note,
Yeah.
That's true.
There you have it.
there you have it.
Thank you again, girl. It's VJ.
It's Jay.
And this is
A Sip
and a Shot. Bye.